high-tech oils, available from Auto One, Sprint Auto Parts, and all leading independent auto stores.
On today's show, we head to the Sunshine State and Queensland Raceway for round 5 of the Shannons Nationals, featuring the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, the Australian GT Trophy and the Kerrick Sport Sedans. Then we head to Waikerie, the Riverland of South Australia, as Australia's best off-road competitors battle the terrain and the elements in the Waikerie Riverland Enduro, doubling as the third and final round of the Australian Off-Road Championship. This is Speedweek. It's round 5 of the Shannons Nationals, and this weekend we're chasing the sunshine. The series returns to Ipswich's Queensland Raceway, and this week it's all about the best tin tops in the land going at it in 3 of Australia's best championships. The Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge is reaching the business end of the season, and the pitched battle between Jackson Evans and Hamish Hardiman is coming to a head. Meanwhile, the Australian GT Trophy has a different look this weekend, with the locally built Mark Cars Australia entries dominating the running and looking for more outright wins against the exotic GT machinery. And then there's the Kerrick Sport Sedans, where Jack Perkins will seek to claw back more valuable points on 9-time champ Tony Ricciardello. It's the 5th round of the Shannons National from the Sunshine State. It's coming to you from Queensland Raceway. Hi everyone, welcome to Queensland Raceway, where the sun is shining and round 5 of the Shannons Australia Motor Racing Nationals, presented by Penrite Oils, are on the racetrack. Coming up today, the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, Australian GT Trophy and the Kerrick Sport Sedan Series will be on the racetrack on this tricky little 6-corner Queensland Raceway circuit just 10 k's outside of Ipswich. Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge cars are rolling out for their second race of the weekend. They had their marquee 150th race on Saturday night. It was won by Jackson Evans, and he wrapped up the Jim Richards Endurance Trophy in the process. He sits just behind Hamish Hardiman in the standings, with Tim Miles leading the Elite and Danny Studd at Class B. But on Saturday night, the story resolved around Jackson Evans, who won the biggest title in GT3 Cup Challenge racing. The Jim Richards Endurance Trophy is a 3-round Enduro-style series within the Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge, named in honour of the New Zealand-born champion. It was a hotly contested affair this year between Hamish Hardiman and Jackson Evans, and after an action-packed 40 laps on Saturday afternoon, it was the Kiwi-born 19-year-old who claimed top honours.
Oh, you know, there's a lot of history of what Jim's done for the series, and even Stephen Richards himself carrying through, but, you know, it's a very important thing, and I'm stoked. First of all, I just wanted to get a really good start. I knew we'd both been pretty level with our start, so focused on that, and then it was all about just getting the head down, eyes forward, and pushing on. It was all on from the get-go. There was cars going everywhere. Like Hamish was close behind me off the start, pushed me for the first few laps, and we managed to build a bit of a gap. Then mid-race we managed to build a bit of a gap, and then we got hit with a safety car, and after that brought us back close together, and I had to do it all over again, but managed to pull another gap and come away with the win. We're pretty lucky with the restart. We managed to get a bit of a jump and complete a good first lap from the restart, and build a little gap, and then sort of manage it from there. If there wasn't a safety car, it would have been the first start, getting into the lead and pulling a bit of a gap. But yeah, definitely the restart, having to reset and go again, that was sort of the highlight once I got through that. I just felt proud to come away with the win, and then obviously the series. Coming into this round, I'm sitting second in the championship, a few points behind Hamish, so we've got this round and the final round at Phillip Island, so we'll be working hard to win each race from here on in and get back to the lead of the championship.
So it was a great performance by Jackson Evans on Saturday afternoon here at Queensland Raceway. He wrapped up the Jim Richards Endurance Trophy, and now the focus shifts to the overall Porsche GT3 Cup Challenge Australia title. I'm joined in commentary by Renato Liberto for this. Great performance in a long-distance race, but he's got to back it up in short, sharp sprints now.
Absolutely, and this battle between Jackson and Hamish so far this year has been fantastic to watch, and to see these guys go head-to-head at the QR circuit is going to be great fun.
Jackson's been in great touch this weekend. He got pole position Saturday, raced his way to a victory in the 40-lap Jim Richards Enduro Trophy and clinched that title. And now he's got to do the business and seal the deal in the championship points battle with Hamish Hardeman. Race 2, we're underway. If you're looking for Jake Claridge, he starts this one from the back of the field after a clutch drama in the long race at the end of lap 1. So he's got 14 cars to work his way forward, but he has got very good condition Pirelli tyres to do it with, because they will have done 40 less laps than most of the cars in this field. Good start by Evans. He leads them through turn 2. And on that long run down to 3 on the back straight here at Queensland Raceway.
Great start by him there. He's got plenty of breathing space to work down into turn 3. This is the first point in the opening lap where you got a chance to really dive up the inside of somebody and make a move, but he got such a good start. He just had that breathing space to work with. But very busy down the back here with Taylor.
Daniel Studdert. It's great to have Scott Taylor back in the GT3 Cup Challenge this weekend, but he's not running in an outright car. He's running his older specification car in Class B just to mix things up. And the Class B fight in the Jim Richards race on Saturday night was wild. There were 4 cars. All 4 of them led the class at some point throughout the race. It was tremendous fun. Down to 6, Evans, Hardeman with a big gap back down to Jim Campbell. He's in that Martini liveried car, first of the elite class runners. South Australian Sam Shahin just in behind in 4th, then Brian Finn and Taylor just up behind them in the B-class car, but a flying start from Scott has got the 222 machine inside the top 6.
A lot of people often criticise this circuit for being a bit too simple. They refer to it as the paperclip, but what you can't see until you're on board like we are now with Brian Finn is the bumps in the circuit, and that really does give this track some character. You know, middle of turn 2 here, nice big bump right on the apex there to unsettle the rear of the car, and then this long back straight and hard braking over some bumps, so it really does make the driver work for it.
I agree with that, and it always produces great racing, because you get that complex where they're coming into now. We get a slow corner into a long straight into a slow corner that goes the other way, and traditionally that produces and promotes good motor racing.
Absolutely, you always see some crossovers happening here. Great on board. As you always see with the Porsches, they just bounce them hard off against that limiter, pop the clutch and away they go. A little bit too much wheel spin there, but still a great start by both of them. There's that big bump we spoke about.
And he hit all of it, Hamish. I've had the great pleasure to sit in the passenger seat of one of these things when they do a full hand grenade launch like that, and it's absolutely violent, an experience from inside the car. So it was a good start from Evans. Hardeman just grabbed that bump on the inside, and that just slowed him down a little bit. So Jackson leads the way. There's Taylor, Ross McGregor behind. There's Anthony Gilbertson. He had some trips to the gravel trap in the Jim Richards race last night, so he's working his way through the field as the battle for third continues. And indeed, the battle for the elite class victory between Sam Shahin and Jim Campbell. Campbell's in great form this year, coming off a podium finish at Winton Motor Raceway earlier this year, and as Sam kicks some dust up in the exit of turn 3, he's under some pressure here, the driver of the 72 Porsche.
And that might have cost him the chance to get through here at turn 3, that little bit of a wheel drop on the exit of turn 2. Obviously pushing quite hard, but really these cars are so well matched, you have to try and work for that overtake coming under brakes. You know, you've got to try and line them up, stay in the toe, and at the last minute pull out to try and get that done. And he just lost that bit of an advantage coming onto the back straight then.
We should mention we're missing Tim Miles. Now, his car rolled out of pit lane, but it didn't actually take the start, so he's parked off the side of the road, we're told, just before turn 6. You might see it from this onboard camera now on Brian Finn's car, so I think he's just off on driver's right, so perhaps a driveline failure of some kind. Yep, you can see a white Porsche parked on the infield there as he came around to the grid, which is a shame for Tim because he drove very well in the Jim Richards race. This is a replay of Jake Claridge carving his way through the field. So he's made a very, very good start. And he's opened a couple of laps on cold tyres. He's worked his way through well inside the top 10 now.
And that's when you've got to try and do it as well. You've got to try and maximise your advantage on that colder tyre. Work a little bit harder than the other guys might be prepared to do. And obviously, you know, I hope for a clear space to get the car through as well.
It's a big part of his learning experience this year, Jake Claridge, the Porsche Junior, as Campbell's a little bit wide on the exit of Shahin, and you can see Jake Claridge just in behind them. He was pretty frustrated when he had that clutch failure in the long race because he's really enjoying the progress he's making this year and getting closer and closer to the two young guns at the front. Wasn't able to show that last night, but this is just another thing he's got to learn about working his way through traffic and maximising when you've got a rubber advantage, which he's doing. Campbell is driving a very defensive motor race at the moment, though. He's under pressure from Sam Shaheen, who tries to send one around the outside at turn 6 and maybe get a better exit from this corner. This is a good little scrap.
And this is where, Sam Shaheen's been doing some great driving this year, and this is where it's very difficult to be that meat in the sandwich, so to speak. He's looking forward for an opportunity, also trying to cover himself from behind to make sure he doesn't lose that extra spot to Claridge. But Claridge has got pace on these guys at the moment. He doesn't have the pace to catch the guys at the front. He just needs to try and get past these two, get himself a little bit of a buffer, and then try and secure that third step of the podium.
You get 6 tyres to use over the course of a weekend, 6 Control Pirelli P0 Porsche tyres. And bear in mind that they did 40 laps on at least 4 of them last night. So Jake's going to have good condition rubber all throughout these 2 races today, regardless. Goes down the inside of Shaheen and gets the spot. That's pretty textbook stuff here at QR.
That was, and Sam Shaheen's given him a bit of space there. He did move out early, make it known that he was going to go for that spot. I think maybe Shaheen's going to tag on the back here now and see if he can work himself past as well.
Well, I was thinking that there might be a bit of team play in front, though, because Claridge and Campbell are both run by the same team from McElroy Racing. So we have another look at the move. So I wonder if Sam's a smart guy. I'm sure he'll be looking at that opportunity to try and get through on Jim Campbell when Claridge inevitably works his way past.
And it's not like Formula One at this level of racing. You can have people on the radio telling you whatever you want, basically, as you're going. So he'll be getting some coaching from his engineers on the sideline as well, just trying to make sure he gets the best opportunity there.
Well, they're quite famous for that at McElroy with Matt Campbell around the outside too.
You don't see that too often at turn 3.
And I think that might have been a little bit gentlemanly from Jim Campbell. Let him go around the outside, and that shuts the door completely for Shaheen to get by and follow him round. So that is actually really good team driving from the 2 McElroy boys.
Yep, you've hit the nail on the head there. The McElroy team have orchestrated that pass perfectly, and as we sort of joked about, definitely using some radios there to make that work for them.
He's working hard, Jim Campbell, and now right back to the HTFU car of Sam Shaheen, who again looks along the outside line at turn 6 and goes very, very deep this time. Jim Campbell's done a lot of laps here. It's the home turf for McElroy Racing. But Shaheen having a career year. And this is another look at it.
You can see there the bumps we were talking about as well. And that's where you've got to be quite careful here. You can lock a brake on the way in, but also on the downshift, you can also lock the rear of the car up. And especially in the Porsches with the rear engine, it can make the car move around quite a lot. So you do often see cars overshooting in this part of the track as well.
And there goes Claridge around the outside.
I think Shaheen was having a look as well, it seems.
It was a bit of wasn't it? Do I? No, maybe not. Maybe not this time. He does get good drive out of turn 2 though, Sam, but it's just not enough to get to the inside before Campbell can cover his racing line at turn 3, which is a really tricky corner. I actually spent a Friday practice session out there on the exit of that corner watching these cars work and the way they put their power to the ground. And it's a difficult corner because it's got that long opening and quite a long exit. But these Porsches have got so much rear grip, they just get on that throttle so early and so hard and drive these things out.
Absolutely, it's one of those benefits of the rear engine car. You've just got all that weight hanging over the rear tyre, and it really does. The cars are amazingly well balanced. They have phenomenal front grip, but then to be able to power down grip as well is really important at a track like this.
Here's Hamish, Sonic Motor Racing. We'll be looking forward to the next round at Phillip Island. The final round of the year will be home turf for Hamish Hardiman in this battle for the championship. As this fight for 4th place continues, and indeed the elite class victory. Claridge clear of them now as well. But Jackson Evans continues to hold on out in front. It's been a good battle, a race-long fight, and if Campbell can hold him off for 4 more corners, this will be one of the best defensive drives of the season, you'd think.
Yeah, it's a fantastic little battle they're having here. I'm sure Shaheen's tried everything he possibly can think of in this race to try and make it past, but it's as you say, a couple of corners to go. Let's see if he can pull it off.
Here's Jackson Evans, home turf for McElroy Racing. A lot of confidence about this outfit now. The DNF at Winton still costing them, but in the championship battle, he's doing everything he possibly can to get back in contention and take it right down to the final race of the year. It's a big win. He edges out Hamish Hardiman and takes race 2 here at Queensland Raceway. Jackson Evans is 2 from 2 so far in round 5. So he beats Hardiman, Claridge and Campbell to the line with Sheehan P5, and a great drive from the back of the field for Anthony Gilbertson, getting home in 6th place.
I managed to get away at the start, and then I had pressure the whole race from Hamish. So yeah, if I didn't get off the line, it would have been a bit of a different story. But yeah, no, definitely the start.
So race 3 happened a little bit later on in the day. It was Evans over Hardiman again on that run into turn 1, but there was drama further back. Brendan Cook got drilled by Tim Miles, who started from the back of the field after a broken axle and clutch dramas at the start of race 2. But at turn 3, Renato, it all teed off.
Yeah, that's a bit of a, I'm not sure what quite happened there. It looks like there's no marks on the side of the car. Maybe just outbraked himself into the corner, but a shame to see his spin off after such a great performance in race 2.
That's what it sounds like from inside a Cup car barrelling off into the gravel. So Jim Campbell, who'd had such a great weekend to this point, unfortunately lost a lot of time and a lot of track position being bunkered down at the gravel in turn 3. This is a great fight. Brian Finn was under some pretty serious pressure from the always fast starting Scott Taylor, and they were scrapping down at turn 3, and Ross McGregor would soon buy his way into this mix as well, and this was a terrific fight.
Yeah, Ross using all of the track and then some to try and find his way past, but Scott moving across, maybe you can move once with no problem, he's just moving all the way to the inside. McGregor gets the job done though a lap later. Great move there.
Used some oversteer to do it though, backed it into the corner and a bit more dust on the inside, but ultimately got past the Class B car. And then for Sam Sheehan, he was on course to win the Elite Division this weekend, but a broken throttle cable coming to the line on the penultimate lap cost him a race finish. Jackson Evans had no such dramas. He clean swept the weekend and rocketed himself right back into championship contention, going into the final round of the season at Phillip Island this September.
Yeah, it was Jackson's home track, so I knew he was going to be quick up here. I hadn't been here since last year, so I was pretty happy after the second session on Friday to actually be quite on the pace. And then I didn't get the best of race starts, but to match him at certain times in the race, it was good, and still leading the championship, so I couldn't be happier really. So
clinching that race win yesterday and wrapping up the endurance trophy is pretty cool. And then to work on that championship lead that we sort of fell behind in, so took as many points out of that as we could, and we'll focus on the next round.
So there's one round to go at Phillip Island, and it will be a great showdown between Hamish Hardiman on home turf that weekend against Jackson Evans. Jake Claridge is 3rd, and Tim Miles still 4th, despite a pretty damaging weekend here at Queensland Raceway. He still leads the Elite Division, though, over Sam Sheehan, with Anthony Gilbertson in 3rd and Brian Finn next. And Danny Studdert leads Shane Barwood and Michael Sigarides in the Class B standings. Stick around. After the break, the Australian GT Trophy Series hits Queensland Raceway. Our coverage of the Shannons Nationals continues.